Q4, I made well over $500,000 in revenue, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a couple things that I would have done differently that Q4 and a couple things that I'm going to be changing and implementing this Q4 to be able to do more revenue and to be able to improve myself. And I'm going to be giving you guys actionable steps on it. So we're going to start with a couple things like backend, products, and marketing. So the first point that I want to talk about is probably going to be the most important point that I missed out on last Q4 and I did wrongly. So the first point is going to be backend. And the reason why I want to start with this is it's the most boring part. Marketing is fun, products is fun, everything along those lines is extremely fun to do, right? It's nice, you're just iterating new ads, etc. You're launching new products, you're finding some new things. Backend is boring, but boring is what makes you the most money, right? So you have to be able to keep a good backend structure. And the first thing that comes into play when we're going to be keeping a good backend structure is your customer support. You have to have customer support in place. You have to have virtual assistants that could do the work for you, that are going to be replying to your customers with certain templates, with certain guidelines that they have to follow, right? So certain systems you have to put in place depending on what kind of brand you run, depending on how you handle your refunds, depending on how you handle all of your customer support, emails, inquiries, right? If you have someone that's going to do that for you and you teach them good on how to do it, right? You can find people on onlinejobs.ph, you can find people on Upwork. You have to train them and be able to teach them what you want them to do out of your customer support. And if you can have them sending emails and keeping people at bay in your emails instead of them coming over and disputing to your PayPal, disputing to your Klarna, disputing to your credit cards, disputing to Shopify, basically, where you're going to be losing more and more and more money. You're going to be way better off just having some good customer support in place. Now, this is something I did wrong because I wasn't really focused on this. I didn't really give that much of a shit about, customer support too much. I was just focused on making the money too much, right? I was just thinking to myself, okay, we can just all fix that later. Let's just make more and more and more money now. And because I did that, a lot of the times what happened was after a good month, I would have a huge dip. And the reason why I would have a huge dip was because my payments would be frozen from PayPal. My payments would be frozen for Shopify, right? Or I would have a reserve, or I would have a hold, or I would have something along the lines which would hold me back from my cash flow or hold me back from scaling even further, where I would basically have to slow down with my ads or slow down with the revenue, right? So that's first point. Then what you also want to do with your backend is you want to have quick shipping/stock. Now, the reason why I talk about this is a lot of the times people work with shit suppliers. That's first of all. You have to have a good supplier. If you haven't had a good supplier and you're running multiple 10, 20, even 50, even 100K in revenue, you need to look for better suppliers, bro. If you don't have a good supplier, just message me on Instagram at Burak Armanda. It's going to be somewhere in the description. I'll just send you my supplier. You can use it for free. No, minimum order required. You cannot start as a beginner with 0 sales. You'd have some sales, but you need to make sure you're going to be working with a supplier that can send quicker, send better quality, where you're going to be getting less disputes from them, right? And especially when you're going to be doing larger volume, you need to have a supply chain that's going to be in place, that's going to be able to provide you every single day, even if you're scaling harder than normal, right? Even if you're going from 2K days with 100 orders to 10K days with 500 orders, for example. If that's happening, your supply chain needs to be able to back it up. Now, one of the best ways to do it, which I did as well, which is something I recommend everyone to do if you're running some good numbers with a certain product already, is buy stock. Right? When you buy stock, you negate the shipping times from the factory to your warehouse, basically. You negate the processing times, you negate the lead times, you negate the manufacturing times, you negate all of that. All there's left is literally shipping times. Now, if you didn't know, when you basically buy a product from a supplier that's basically going to drop ship it for you, what happens is they're going to get it from a factory. That factory has to make it first. That factory has to send it to them first. And after it arrives at the warehouse of your supplier, then they're going to be sending it out to the customer, right? And that usually takes 3 to 5 days. So you're basically negating on every single order 3 to 5 days quicker. And when you have that, you only have the 5 to 7 with my supplier, 5 to 10, 12, maybe sometimes 14 with your supplier probably. You're basically have to only just wait for the shipping time for the customer to have their product. And what I would also say, besides that, an important thing on the back end is having systems for your team. So what is important is For example, if you have virtual assistants on product research, if you have virtual assistants on customer support, launching your ads, running your ads, media buying, etc., all of these things, having systems for them. For example, the one I use, you can use Monday.com. I personally use Trello, right? Having systems where they have their tasks every single day and every single week, written out what they need to do, and they can actually just work on them without you having to like check up on them, like micromanaging every single day, right? It's going to allow for them to be able to work faster, work more efficiently, and do more work for you, where you're in the end going to be making more money. Then the last point I want to touch on with backend is having cash flow. If you don't have good cash flow in Q4, you're probably going to be getting ruined. Now, what happened with me, like I said before, I had rolling reserves, I had PayPal holds, I had Klarna holds, I had all types of fucking bans and holds and shits that were just happening to me. And I was like, fuck, I just can't move around it, right? So very importantly is to have some good cash flow for yourself. For me, what I do is having credit cards in place, like American Express. If you have a USA LLC, or if you have a USA company, let's say, you can use Chase, right? You can use all their credit cards. They have very good ones as well. You can use all those credit cards, max them out as much as you can. Try to increase your limit before even Q4 arrives, because when Q4 does arrive, you're gonna have to spend way more, right? We usually spend almost double to triple in Q4 because you're actually scaling it up and more people are going to be buying, etc. Now, last point that I actually want to touch on before we move on to the second part, which is going to be products on backend, is ad accounts. As I was thinking about it, as I was talking about the bans on Shopify or the holds or the reserves, etc., you need extra ad accounts, bro. I'm telling you, because a lot of the times you will get bans randomly. You will have, I don't know, one ad account performing not the best anymore. You will have an ad account that is all of a sudden not going to, give you the best metrics anymore. So, or you can get like a restriction and then a ban and then something else can happen. So you need to have multiple ad accounts in place. The way I move in general throughout the fucking whole year, let alone Q4, is having 5 ad accounts in place, and then 3 to 4 on them we're running every single day, like mainly scaling, right? We have a couple main ones. So we have, let's say 5 ad accounts we have in total. We have 3 or 4 on them which we're like spending heavily on. And then we have like 1 to 2 which we are basically scaling the most on. The other 2 we use more for testing. Then we have one last one that is just there in case anything happens. So let's say like ad account, 4 gets banned. We still have number 5, right? Just add that one in. Been already warmed up. You're already spending slowly on it, so you're not going to get banned or anything. You're increasing your daily ad spend limit, etc. So whenever you do get a ban, whenever you do get a restriction, you can just hop on that one and keep on going straight away. Because if you have everything in one ad account, now I heard this once and this shit stuck with me. If you have everything on one ad account, or if you have everything on one single store or whatever, right? Once you're doing, let's say 100K a month, that gets banned. Gone. You're doing 0, right? If all your spend was on that ad account. If you're spending like 5K or 10K in ads, let's say, to keep it easy, right? That what ad account is banned, you're doing 0 right now, right? So the best way to do it is, if you have 5 of them, you're spending 2K here, 2K there, 2K there, 2K there. If one of them gets banned, right, you're still spending 8K. Let's say you have a 10 ROAS, which is crazy, but I mean, I do it sometimes. But let's say you have 8 ROAS with, or 10 ROAS with $8,000 spent. You're still doing 80K. You might not be doing 100K. You might lose 20K on revenue in the month, whatever, or in the day. But you're still doing 80K because you have the other ad accounts. Now, if you had only one ad account, that gets banned, everything's out the window. So you're doing 0. So don't do that. Huge mistake. Now, the second part, products. I get so many questions about this, but it's just the simplest thing ever, for me at least. Now, the way I just like to go about products, if you're doing general dropshipping, if you're not branded, if you're not running a DTC brand or, anything like a brand, what I would recommend is testing way more than normal. Test like stupid, test like you're a madman, right? Let's say you test 5 products on a day, normal, right? Test 15. Just do it. Just go way harder, because what happens is, it's stupid also, the way it works, especially with general dropshipping. Sometimes the more you test, you're just going to hit random winners you never thought would be a winner. You're going to hit random products where you're like, holy shit, it's like, how does that even work? Gonna work, right? And the whole idea is because in Q4, people just buy. People seriously just buy. People just want to spend money. Christmas is coming up, Black Friday is coming up. They see all these sales, they're like, holy shit, I just need to go, I need to go crazy, right? I need to go like to spend as much as I can. People do it, right? And you just have to take advantage of it. You have to like, take it to your benefit. What you have to do is just, once you know people are going to buy, for example, in Black Friday or on Cyber Monday or on Christmas, launch even 5 times more. Instead of launching 5 products a day, launch 25 on fucking Christmas Day or before Christmas Day, right? Before you know, all of them to do with Christmas, for example, or on Black Friday, launch 25 more products. Fuck it. Because what's going to happen is, because people are in that mindset of like, holy shit, everything is on a sale, everything is going crazy, they're just going to buy it without even knowing or having like a good reason of why to buy. But that is only going to benefit you because you just make more money. And you can keep those people in your ecosystem, nurture them with your emails, nurture them with your brand, right? On your Instagram, if you have a brand, of course. If you're doing general, it's a bit different. But if you have a brand, nurture them with your emails, nurture them with your social media, etc. Make sure they're going to keep buying again and again from you. Because the people you actually get in Q4, if you have a good ecosystem and systems in place to keep those people, what's going to happen is those people that you're getting in Q4, they're going to keep buying from you Q1 the next year, Q2, Q3, Q4 the next year again, right? That's how it's going to move, unless you're running Christmas products or whatever. Now, another good one, when you're running already, let's say you ran last year also, what you have to do, very smart, not a lot of people do this, or not a lot of people actually think about this, run products that were winners or that went good for you last year. If you had I'll just take fashion as an example. If you had a white t-shirt that went really good last year, for some fucking reason it went really good, test it again. Test that exact same product again, take the same creatives, change maybe the creatives up a little again, test multiple campaigns on that product. Because if it was a really good winner for you last year, chances are it's going to be a really good winner for you this year. Why? Because let's say it was a white t-shirt, but it was like from fur inside. I don't know, it was hot, it was like keeping you warm. It's winter, same exact season, same exact time period, right? People don't really change. A lot of the times you see people, I've seen this a couple of times already personally. You see these like gripsters, or you see these like this heating pad for women with menstruation. Remember, like a lot of people know that. That's a product I tested when I started like 3 years ago. Holy shit. I still see people running that until now. 3 years ago. It still works. And it's still going to work probably for the next 5 years. You just have to come in from a different angle. You just have to come in with different creatives if you can. Or come in with a different offer, right? If you were selling a white t-shirt for $30 per se, right? Run a 1 + 1 free offer and sell it for 40. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But it's worth testing because it did good money last year. It's something I always do whenever it comes to Q4 or whenever, a couple months pass by. Always go look into the past, like, okay, what worked and why did it work? Iterate on it. Maybe be like, okay, a white t-shirt worked with like fur inside. It didn't work because it was a white t-shirt. It worked because fur was inside, for example. Run something else with fur inside, right? Run something else that worked already. So test winners that have worked for you before this year again, because the chances are they're probably going to work again. Now, another good good thing to do with products is preparing everything. Let's say you already have these old winners, or you already have products that you want to get into, products that you're like, holy shit, this is going to be a winning product, or holy shit, this seems like a good product for Christmas, for example. Do your research now. Start researching already into past year. Start researching into which competitors did the best. Start researching into what worked best for you, why it worked best, right? If you understand the why, it's replicable. This is what I also focus on so much with myself, also with my students. Every single product we look into, they always get a reason why it's good or reason why it's bad. Because once you know why a good product is good, why a product is bad, you're gonna be able to navigate through that. Okay, this was good because it had fur inside, for example. I'll just take the same example. And this one was bad because it was a very thin jacket that I was testing during minus fucking 40 degrees. Right? People don't want to buy a very thin jacket then, for example. Now, when you do that, when you understand the why, you're going to be able to navigate yourself through finding a winner easier, and also replicating winners. If you already have a winner, if you can see why that was a winner, you're going to be able to replicate it way faster. So what I also recommend is preparing all those products that were winners or that have a high chance of being a winner. For example, on Christmas Day, or for example, on Black Friday or on Cyber Monday, right? Having these things already planned out, which you want to test when the time comes, is going to make sure you're not going to be failing or sitting around jerking off, not doing shit whenever you have to, run on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So you're not going to be like, holy shit, I'm so busy, because lots of you guys are working 9 to 5s also. If you're going to be extremely busy on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, families coming up, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas coming up, you have all these things that are coming up during the last period of the year. Everyone gets together, and your work is like demanding more because you have to have new deadlines to reach. Once you have all these things like fucking pushing on you, you're like, holy shit, I only have a couple hours a day. If you plan out already from now, or already from a couple of weeks from now, what you're going to do, or which ones you have to test, or which ones are best to test whenever the time comes, and have those already on your website. Have the creatives worked out already. Put them in folders so you know which dates to test them on. It's going to be way easier when the time comes to test them. You're not going to be stuck up on your job and be like, holy shit, I can't test. Oh, let me just try next year, and then be like, fuck all again, right? You're actually going to put in the work and actually test them the same exact time you were supposed to test them. Then the third point, or the third point, whatever, marketing. So very importantly is new creatives. Now, I can't stress this enough. I always say new creatives, because new creatives usually give you new insights. Now, it could be you're running 10 ROAS with a good creative already. You can have 2 creatives run 10 ROAS, run $1 million months. Imagine if you had 20 fucking creatives that also had 10 ROAS. Just saying, there's you can never have enough creatives to run. Right? The more you have, the more volume you do, the more you're going to get feedback, the more you can improve on that, and the more you're going to make. Because the more feedback you have, the more you improve, the better you become. The better you become, the more customers you attract, because they like what they're seeing, they like what they're looking at, they like what they want to have. They're like, holy shit, this is what I want. So very important is to test new creatives and prepare them already in advance for Black Friday, for Cyber Monday, and for Christmas, right? For Q4, the whole entire period. Prepare them already, very important. And also, that goes along with the next point, which is having creatives around Black Friday, around Cyber Monday, around Christmas. So whenever Christmas or whenever Black Friday comes, for example, a lot of the times what you can do is you can talk about Black Friday sales. Although you might not have a Black Friday sale, you might sell this white t-shirt for $30. On Black Friday, you're sold for the exact same $30. You just say it's a Black Friday sale. It works because people think to themselves like, holy shit, it's a Black Friday sale. Oh, $30 only? Like they go crazy about it. Same thing with Christmas. Oh, it's a Christmas sale. Oh, $30 only? They go crazy about it. Although nothing changed, you changing up the whole offer, changing up the whole idea about the product being different is going to allow them like, holy shit, there's something different about it. Oh, I have to buy. And this is what a lot of the times pushes people to buy more Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Christmas. So have also creatives prepared and ready around those things that are about to come up, right? Or for example, Thanksgiving, etc. Have shit ready about that. Also change your website. Your banner, have some deals like your bundles, for example. You can have Black Friday sale or Christmas sale or Cyber Monday sale. All these things, have those ready in place too, because this is very important. When people see more and more of that, they're just going to get more and more into the consumer mindset of it. So this has not to do much with marketing, but it's still in there. And another one, next point, very important. Holy shit, I can't stress this one up. This is probably gonna make you a shitload of money. If you're running a brand, email marketing campaigns for Black Friday, for Cyber Monday, for Christmas. If you're running a brand, this shit makes you a whole lot of money. This is where big money is made, right? You have a lot of people throughout the year that are opting into your email list, that are opting into your ecosystem, that are buying from you, so you get the emails from them. You can send out emails to them. Now, when Black Friday comes, when Cyber Monday comes, having special sales, having special deals for people that are into your email list, and then having them get early access, for example, into Black Friday, into Cyber Monday, doing launches with them, holy shit, that makes you a lot of money. So, if you're running a brand with general dropshipping, it's not super applicable. With general dropshipping, what I would recommend just send out Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Christmas emails. Because with general dropshipping, you don't really have like a brand or like something that people cling on to that they would want to buy again from, right? So very important when it comes down to email marketing campaigns is have those ready and work on those already now, basically, or maybe not now, but in a couple of weeks from now, already iterate on new ideas, have different designs made by your email marketing guys, so you can look into which ones work the best and which ones would have worked the best. Another very important thing, this is a good golden nugget for you guys here. So if you're so far into the video, you guys are gonna get this golden nugget. So what I would recommend you to do, look into your competitors. Let's say you're let me just give an example. Let's say you're in the fashion niche. Very, very easy. Go look into big fashion brands. What do they do with their email marketings, right? Go look into what kind of emails they sent out, right? Just try to search up what they sent out on Black Friday, on Cyber Monday. If you already bought from a fashion brand, for example, let's say you bought last year somewhere in Q1, like last year, like 2020, 2024 Q1, you bought something. You most likely do have a email from them for Q4, or email from them for Black Friday or Cyber Monday, or even Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter or something, 4th of July. You have something from them. I can promise you. Look into what they did. Look into how they did it. Look into how you can do it. Try to look at other guys that are like running these ecom brands. On Twitter, you can find lots of good ones. Another golden nugget. So go to Twitter. Try to look up all these guys that are like running email marketing for these big brands. Try to see what they did, right? They always share basically what they do for other brands. If you can find a competitor in there, if you can find someone that's running in the same niche as you, or running a similar offer, similar brand to yours, try to look what they do, iterate from that, make it better, and then run it for yourself. Very important. Now, another one that I want to touch on is, let's say you had some winning creatives already. Let's say 2-3 months ago, you had some good winning creatives that worked really well for you. Now, this touches on the same one as the product, so I'm going to keep this one short. Retest those winning creatives that worked a couple months back in Q4. It's going to be as crazy as it sounds. A lot of the times in Q4, because people go crazy for buying, people are fucking, I don't know, people are so, like, they go crazy for buying, right? Because of that, if you had some winning creatives that ran since Q1, let's say, until like a couple months ago, then they were unprofitable. If you had to kill them, run them again in Q4. Run them again just a little bit before Black Friday. Run them again just a little bit before Cyber Monday or Christmas, right? Run them again when people are at the highest of their buying. Because when you're going to do that, a lot of the times what's going to happen is, because these creators already worked before, people could have resonated with them, unless you have something like, I don't know, talking about Q1, right? Unless you have something talking about, I don't know, fucking New Year, New Me creatives, I don't know, something like that. Not the best, but even then, it could still work, you know? So take those winning creatives that you already had from the past, retest them in Q4. Now, very important also, take the winning creatives that worked for you before, right? And iterate more creatives from those past winners. So when you already have a good product or a good creative that worked for you before, iterate why it worked. Iterate why the creative was good. What made it good? What was the hook rate? Why was the hook rate so high? Like, what was so good about the hook that people wanted to buy? Was it the visuals? Was it the text? Was it the words you said? Was it how simple you kept the wording? What was it? What was making them tick to be able to, like, you know, just watch through the whole video and in the end make that purchase? Once you do that, and do that again for your new ads that you're going to be running in Q4, especially when you're going to be talking about Cyber Monday, Black Friday, Christmas, etc., when you're going to be mentioning things about Q4, which are going to be making it more actual, right? When you're going to be looking more into that, and you iterate why something else worked before, and then you just, you know, reiterate it onto your new ad. So basically, you take from what worked as a past winner, and you apply it to something that you're going to be launching in Q4, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas. You're probably going to see better results from those. And then the last one is going to be testing new angles. Very important. But because of Cyber Monday, Black Friday coming up, Christmas coming up, winter is coming up, you're going to have to test if it's applicable to your product. You can change the visuals, for example. Let's say you're running fashion brand. I'll keep it easy with fashion, everything's simple. But let's say you're running something with clothing. Instead of having use like sitting or like having some creatives, I don't know, in a summery place in fucking Marbella or in Greece, Zakynthos, whatever. Instead of having it there, have it in a cold place. Have it where it's snowing. Have it a little bit where it's like, you know, rainy, a little bit. Like, give off the vibe that we're going into. Because it's September now. It's going to be October, November, December. It's going to be cold as fuck. People are going to be more and more wanting to, you know, for example, for a fashion brand, people are going to be more and more looking into winter, looking into autumn, looking into fall, looking into things that are going to be more actual of the reality, right? So more of the season. Right? When it's summer, you can sell everything on summer. You can wear shorts, you can wear t-shirts, etc. When it's winter, You ain't gonna be selling shorts, right? So take that also with your new angles. Look what's going to be working in Q4. Look why people would want to buy this Q4 more than last Q4. Look into trends that is happening this Q4. For example, go to TikTok, go scroll for an hour. I know it sounds very counterproductive, but if you scroll for an hour, you get an idea of how people talk, how people engage with each other, what people do, etc. Right? Once you understand people more, right, you can iterate your new creatives and new angles upon that and actually work on that. Now, I do recommend sticking to working angles and working frameworks already from before, but you also have to do, especially if you're doing good numbers, if you're doing above 100K plus a month, right, you need to be testing new angles. Now, if you're doing below 100K, reiterate what your competitors are doing. Look into what is going good for them. Try to do it and apply it for your brand, right? After you've done that, after you're running already good with that, 5K days, 10K days, 100K months plus, what you need to be doing is you're going to be testing new angles. So you're going to be creative with it. So you're not going to follow the standard framework, let's say. You might follow the standard framework, but you're not going to follow the standard hooks. You're not going to follow the standard way of making the creative. You're going to do something out of ordinary. You're going to be creative with it, right? You're going to add your own spice to it, basically, your own seasoning to it. So that's basically how I would dominate this Q4. So if you guys are interested in dominating this Q4, we've had people hit 100K months last month in August already. We've had people hit within their first month of joining 60K in pounds. So that's like 80K in USD in their first month of joining the coaching in August already, and Q4 is only around the corner, so they're going to go even higher and hit 100K, 150K, 200K months with dropshipping, with branded dropshipping. So if you guys are also interested in that, I'm going to leave a link down in the description for you guys where you can book a call. So book a call, we'll take your brand or your dropshipping store to the next level. Make sure you're going to go above 100K, 200K a month and dominate this Q4. Make sure you're going to set yourself up for success and make sure you're going to be applying all of these things that I talked about here and more, so you're going to be able to make more and more money this Q4. Escape your job, escape all the things that you don't want to be in, achieve financial freedom, and hopefully get a plaque like this. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.